Okay, I fixed it.
Better.
I don't know how I fixed it, but I just...
And live on YouTube now.
How do I chat? Hello. There we go. There's your link. Okay, I'm starting it. Wait, how do I do that? Oh, there it is. Okay. Hi, good morning, everyone. Just give you guys a couple of minutes to come in. How's everyone doing today? I can't believe it's like officially summer. Everyone I talked to is going on vacation. Do you guys have any exciting vacation plans this summer? Feel free to put it in the chat. I just got back from New York. It was like beautiful time of year to be there. Not too hot, not too cold. Oh, thanks for letting me know, Clayton. South Texas. Ooh, that sounds fun. Beach trip. I see you have a countdown going there, Jonathan. Nice. I am planning to go to Miami too. I also have a countdown. It's how you get through the rough days, right? Ooh, road trip to Yukon. You have to let me how it is, Kate. You have to let me know how it goes, Kayla. I've always wanted to go there. Still something to look forward to. That sounds so fun. And road trips are the best. Anyone else got exciting vacation plans? Or summer plans? Hey, but camping is so fun, Lisa. I love it. I feel like I did a lot of camping last year. Are you going anywhere like fun? I think I went to Writing on Stone Provincial Park. It was pretty cool. And then Tofino was also really beautiful camping location. Ooh, Mexico, Dale, you're making us all jealous. A canoe trip? That sounds so fun. You guys have to let me know how your vacation goes and like share pictures so I can vicariously live through you. Nice, Lisa. Sounds like you're familiar with it, so I'm sure you'll have a great time. Awesome. Well, thanks everyone for joining me to talk about, oh, Newfoundland, Adrena. I've always wanted to go there. I had a trip planned and then it got canceled, but I've seen a lot of Canada, so that's definitely like next on my list because I haven't been there yet. Wow. You guys have to share pictures, honestly. Please send me pictures. But yeah, so thanks for joining me to talk about competencies. I wasn't sure how many people would actually be interested in this webinar, but our support team gets so many questions about competencies that I thought it would be a good one to address. So thanks for joining me. And then I have Mike, who's acting as customer success, and he will help with the chat and just moderating. I'm sure most of you have talked to either of us, but if you haven't, like, hi, nice to meet you. My name is Amal. And I do customer engagement here at Workhub. And I am super excited to talk about competencies today because we have a couple of new things that I think you guys will be happy about. So I'm going to share my screen. If I remember how to do this, there we go. All right, so we're talking about competencies today. Everyone has been making jokes about being competent at competencies. So, hey, all the puns, the better. So I thought we would talk a little bit about like what are competencies and then go into Workhub so I could show you how to build a competency assessment, pre-qualifying workers and assessors, and then completing and managing the assessment request. And then if you have any questions, we'll take them at the end. So what are competencies? So I found this definition online. Competence can be described as a combination of training, skills, experience, and knowledge that a person has and their ability to apply them to perform a task safely. And then someone pointed out to me this wonderful like competency triangle. So you have like the knowledge and training, the experience, and then the assessment and demonstrated ability. So all three of these kind of go hand in hand and work together to kind of build that competency. And I also wanted to point out that I know a lot of our customers use competencies for a couple different things. So, you know, they can be used for either a job, task, or skill-based assessment. Do any of you guys use competencies for something other than safety related? If you do, just put it in the chat. I'd love to see what you guys are mostly using this component for. Okay. Safety and quality. Can you expand on quality? Is it just make like quality of the safety in your company? Technical skill sets, also a good one. Audit compliance, of course. Progression for field folks. Yeah, progression is a good one too. Specific new tasks. Career development, that's interesting too. So lots of different uses for competencies in different ways that you can use them. And that's a great part about this component on Workhub is it's so versatile and customizable that you can really use it for whatever suits your purpose best. So I thought we would start on the admin side over here. Let's just click into the competencies tile on the dashboard. And of course, this opens up the competency list. And here you will see at a glance kind of like which of your competencies are active, how many criteria they have, the assignments, the SSC requests, the compliance, all of that kind of information is right here. The filters on this side, you can also filter by assessment requests, whether they're pending or all assessors. So let's say you wanted to see who someone was like specific person, if they were an assessor for lots of different competencies, you could also apply like that and you would be able to see what competencies they were assigned as an assessor to. So these filters are really handy to sort through the list. And then on the right-hand side, these three dots here will allow you to clone a competency. So if we do click the clone button, you can see it opens up the competency with all of the information preloaded. So you have all of your prerequisites here, your criteria, even your assessors and section, and all of that is in here. So you can choose to rename it. And once you save this competency, you will be able to once you save the competency, you will be able to then access the other tabs. But this is pretty useful if you do have a competency, let's say you're trying to build like a progression or something like that, and you want to copy some of that criteria over, then you can use this clone tool. It saves you some time. So yeah, I'm gonna click into one of these. So let's click on health, safety, and environment. So as you can see, we have our prerequisites in here. We have some policies. If you wanted to add another prerequisite, you just click the add button, and it populates a list of all of the procedures in this case that are in Workhub. And you would just click continue and click add. And if you wanted to remove one of these, you could just click the trash can icon. And then same for like the assessment criteria. So as you can see here on this one, we have it split into two different kind of sections. Like we have a theory and then a tasks. So if you did want to combine a couple different sections into one competency, you could do that as well. So let's say we wanted to also like add their training, we could track it through the prerequisite course. But if we wanted to, I don't know, have them acknowledge it or something like that, you could say has completed required policies. So you could do something like that. And let's say you decide this is like not what you wanted to add, just click the trash can icon and it goes away. And then on the right-hand side, of course, you have the active or inactive toggle, the contact person. So this will just show on the worker's side. They'll be able to see this person and click into any of their contact details if they have any issues with the competency. And the new thing that I'm really excited to show you guys is the expiry date. So a lot of people have been asking for this feature, but this allows you to set the competency to expire. Now, on the global settings, you can change how long before it's marked as coming due, and I'll show you that as well in a second. But in this case, you could set the expiry date to be a year. I do want to point out that that this expiry date will only work for workers who have been assessed, but not for instructors assessors. So if someone's been assessed as an instructor, their competency status is not going to expire, but someone who's been assessed as like independently competent, their competency status will expire after a certain amount of time. You can also add assessors on this page here. So if I go into assessors and click add, there's a couple I just want to show you. You just select basically from your list of workers and you click add. In this case, you can see there are a couple like alert triangles. So I just want to go through those. The yellow one means that the worker has not been assigned this competency. It's an easy fix. You just go into the assignments tab and set it to their position. But this would mean that they cannot really access the competency from their dashboard. And if they're not showing up as someone that workers can request the assessment from, this might be why. The other one I want to point out is the red triangle. This means that the worker does not have the competency permissions. So you can still save the competency with them added here as an assessor and then go into their position and change the permission after, but they will need to have permissions on the worker side to access the competency in order to complete any assessments for them. So hopefully that makes sense. And then another new thing I want to point out on this page here is the related asset category. So you can choose to relate this competency to an asset category. And I will show you what this looks like in a little bit, but you will be able to see then that under the operators, you will be able to see their competency status as well. So once you go through this page and set everything how you want to, and you can go ahead and click save. And then you can also download a copy of this blank competency just in case you want to put it up somewhere and hand it out so people know what they're going to be assessed on. The next tab here is the assessment requests. This is specific to this competency, but then there is that tab on the global page on the general competencies overview as well. And then you'll also see it on the worker side too. So this just allows you to see any assessments that have been requested. Hovering over the eye icon will show you any comment that has been left by your worker. And if you click on the the three dots on the right-hand side over here, you can either complete the assessment, decline the request, or reassign the assessor. So you may want to reassign the assessor in a case like, let's say in this example over here, the assessor is Mary and she's on vacation and, Mo really needs his competency assessed. You may want to reassign it to someone else. So if you just click reassign, then it just allows you to choose from the other assessors that we added onto the competency as well. I can show you guys what that looks like. So let's say we switch it over and we click assign assessment, then it just changes over. You can also click complete assessment. So in this case, we're unable to complete it because this worker has not completed their prerequisites. But if they had completed their prerequisites, we'd be able to click through and complete the assessment there. And then you can also decline the request. So let's say like this was like requested by mistake. Let's put that in there. Sorry for the typing noise. And hit continue, and it just like removes it from there. And then of course you do have these filters on the right-hand side as well. And then the assignments tab is the same as all of the assignments tabs on Workhub. And then with the worker compliance over here, you can see the status and the date. So because we added those assessors in on the competency overview, you can see they're showing that status of instructor, assessor, and pre-qualified, as well as the date. If I click on the three dots here, let's say I accidentally added Jamie, I could just like remove this pre-qualification as well. Or you could also like complete the assessment. And you can see in this case, if we wanted to pre-qualify Jamie because we are on the admin side, we would just toggle this over to pre-qualification, and you could choose whether he would be marked as a competent worker or as an instructor assessor. So doing this pre-qualification basically allows us to override any of the prerequisites. So in this case, you could see this policy has not been completed, but we can still mark this person as competent or an instructor assessor. So this may be a case where this person has demonstrated the skills previously before any of these policies were added or changed or something like that. You may want to use this tool in that case. So once we go ahead and hit save, and then again, you can still remove the pre-qualification. So if you do accidentally make a mistake, there are lots of ways to kind of correct that on the competencies. So let's go back a page to the competency list. So this is the assessments tab that I was talking about before. You can see all of the assessment requests within your company for all of the competencies here. So in this case, let's say if we click into one of them, again, you can click new assessment and you can go ahead and complete the assessment from the admin side as well. So let's do one just so I can show you guys how it would work. So let's say, yeah, performs walk around inspection. We're going to say requires supervision on this one. You know, just kind of go through, and you can also leave notes if you want. So let's say only used mirrors or something like that. Or, you know, anything like that. You can leave any notes that you want. You do have quite a few characters here. And once that's done, you can save the assessment. You can also change like who it was assessed by. So if you're completing this on behalf of someone, or you can also change the assessment date. Let's say this happened at another time, or even if you printed out a blank competency and that person kind of completed it blank and now you're entering it, that would kind of be one of the main reasons why you would use this tool and do it on the admin side. So once you hit save, then you can see all of the assessment details in here. Now, let's say like, you know, this assessment was completed, but then there was an incident or something like that, and you wanted this person to go through the assessment again. You could just hit reset compliance, and all of the criteria will be changed to require supervision. So in this case, let's say requires supervision, and then let's say like, there was an incident for 1001 or something like that. And then you'll be able to see like the reason just above here. And you can still go ahead and complete the new assessment, but as you can see, all of the details have been, or sorry, all of the assessment criteria has been changed to require supervision. So that's the assessment request. Now that we've completed it, you can see it's been removed. So that assessment could be requested again from the worker side, or like I said, completed from the admin side. Then you have the assessment history. So on this tab, you will see like all of the assessments that have been completed within your organization. Of course, you can filter these as well, let's say like by assessor or anything like that. And then you can also click into one of these to see the details. And again, as an admin, you could do a new assessment. But these will show you some little icons that kind of show you the status. So whether someone has been marked as pre-qualified, whether they're set as an instructor assessor, or whether they need supervision, you will see that listed under the status here. And you will also see their supervisor. So you'll see the worker name, who assess their competency, and then who they report to. So who is set as a supervisor on their worker tab. And then for coming due past due, if you have any of the competencies that are using that expiry date, you will see those listed in here. So that works similar to how it does in certificates or anything like that. And then I'm going to show you the matrix report. So this one you can filter by status. So let's say you just want to see all of the people who have requested assessments and are waiting. You could do that too, or sorry, you could do that too, and set the assignment or whatever, and then just click download report when you're ready. This matrix report, I'm sure you've seen in a lot of other components as well. And then we have the global settings. So so the first one over here is regarding rewards, like it is on all of them. So yeah, if a worker is basically deemed competent through an assessment, then they'll get rewards points for it if you change this setting. So if someone is kind of marked as requiring supervision, then they won't get rewards points if this is selected. Then you have the competencies, whether you want to enable by location or which ones count for rewards points. And then you have this option here, like, are assessors allowed to evaluate and qualify new instructor assessors? So I'm going to leave this to no, and you will see on the worker side how that makes an impact. But basically this means, like, if someone is an instructor assessor, are they allowed to mark someone else as an instructor assessor? So you can choose whether that's yes or no. You may only want to pre-qualify them on the admin side, just to ensure the integrity, but also you may have a really large organization where you do want them, you have marked these people as instructor assessors because they are competent at assessing others. So you may want them to determine whether someone else could also do that. And then this is the expiry date, like we mentioned. So you will set the default from here, but you can change it. So I'm going to set this one to be 3 years. But yeah, you may, this is a lot of you guys have requested it. So hopefully you're as excited about it as I am. And then the last one here, how long before a competency expires should be flagged coming due. So this will just determine how long prior to this expiry time that it will show under that coming due past due tab. So pretty similar to certificates or online courses in this case. So once all the settings look good, of course, you hit save. So there's one more thing I want to show you before we switch over to the worker side. So that's under assets. So like I was saying, on the competency, you can set a related asset category. So in this case, we have 6 operators on this asset. So if we click into it, you'll see here under the operators that your related competencies section here, and then it is showing you whether those people are competent or whether the competency assessment is not applicable, hasn't been completed. If they're marked as not competent, you will see that too. I just didn't set it up on this one. But yeah, if you click on the drop down here, you'll see the name of the competency and what their status is. So in this one, for example, driver evaluation, and it hasn't been assigned to this worker. I think that's the same for all of them. Yeah. So I think that's pretty cool feature as well, pretty unique, and a good way for you to kind of ensure that your operators that on specific assets really are prepared for that task. So it just adds that extra layer of making sure that that compliance is there and completed. Oh, I see a couple of questions in here, so maybe I will go through some of these. Are the warnings that appear when you add an assessor who hasn't done the competency yet live? Yes, the warnings should be there. So when you add an assessor, you are pre-qualifying them. So even if they haven't been assessed by someone else on the competency, by adding an assessor on this section, maybe, oh, sorry, I can't click. So if we go to worker compliance here, you can see like these are the people that I added as the assessor. So it just changes their status to be pre-qualified. But you will see those warnings. Those are live. I hope that answers your question, Jennifer. Ruth, I see Mike addressed your question. Is there a space to upload a document? We often complete field forms on site. It would be nice to. Yeah, I can definitely see how that would be useful. Currently, the competencies are not related to the forms or the inspection section or the ability to add a related document, but we have definitely had that request. So I will certainly pass that on to the product team because it's a good one for sure. Does anyone have any other questions about the admin side before we switch over to the worker side? See if there's any in the question. No, okay. Going once, going twice. Add it. Oh, that's a really great solution, Chuck. Thanks for sharing that with everyone. So yeah, that could definitely work because on the competency, I'll click into it again. You are able to do that certificate. So you could certainly do it that way. That's a great solution. Thanks for sharing, Chuck. All right, so we'll switch over to the worker side now. And then if you do have any more questions, I'll take them after as well. So on the worker side, you can see on the competencies tile, it is under that onboarding and compliance section. But on this competencies tile, you could see that Mo has like a pending assessment, a couple done. So you do see those details too on the dashboard, which are really nice. And then clicking into it, we can see all of the competencies that have been assigned to Mo. So in this case, for example, this one requires supervision and this one he set as an instructor assessor. And then you can also see that SSC request right there. So let's say we click into this one. You will see all of the assessment criteria that has been added on the admin side, and then any assessment requests here. And then if the worker did want to request an assessment, they would click on this button here. So let me go through that. So let's say he wants to request an assessment. This is the only person who's been added in as an assessor, but you could still go ahead and say like, please assess me. And we hit yes, and then you'll see that that assessment request is at the top. And let's say that was an accident, you just hit cancel, and then it will just remove that option. Now, because Mo is an assessor for this competency, he can also click assess others. And so this will allow him to complete the competency assessment for any worker that has been assigned the competency but hasn't been requested from him. So if any of your workers are having trouble figuring out how to request an assessment or anything like that, anyone who's assigned as an instructor can still go ahead and complete this assessment for them. So you just click into it, and then this is what the assessment will look like. Now, I want to point out, I'm not sure if you guys noticed, but on the admin side, we had another column that said instructor assessor. So there was like 3 columns on the admin side, but here you can see there's only 2 on the worker side. And that's because if you remember that setting that I had showed you, that was allow instructor assessors to qualify other instructor assessors, we turned that off. And so that instructor assessor column is missing over here. But then anyways, Mo would just come in and he could like go ahead and complete this assessment. So in this case, we'll just mark this guy as independently assessed. You know, you can still leave any notes if you want to. And once that's done, you just click submit and you can see he's independently competent for this task. So that will update on the worker status as well. And then this is the column I was talking about that we weren't able to click into because that setting is off. You can also print out the assessment form. So let's say in a case where you don't have that online access or on site and unable to do the competency directly on the system, then they could fill out this form here, and there's like that spot to sign it as well. And then like I showed you guys on the admin side, you can complete that assessment within the system too. So that's also an option. Yeah, and then in this case, so if you did have an assessee request, you could either go ahead and assess it or decline. If you decline, you just leave a reason and say like, whatever the reason may be. But you can do that from here, and hovering over this little comment icon will show you that request reason that the worker has also left. And then if we go into the assessment requests tab here, you can see this is the assessment request we had. And so clicking into it, the worker can also choose, so let's decline it from here. And confirm the decline, and it just changes. And then you have the assessment history. So in this case, this will show all of the competencies that you've been assessed for and that you've completed assessments for, as well as the outcome of the assessment status. And this one is sortable, so you could definitely like filter here by assessor, by date, or by the assessment status as well. So I think that sums it up pretty nicely from the worker side. If you guys have any more questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. I would love to take them here. Any questions? Can you do bulk uploads? Not for the competencies right now. Are you looking to like bulk upload like the competency criteria? Or are you looking to bulk upload like the assessments? Assessors, etc. Currently, no. Well, I mean, it is fairly easy, I think, on the admin side to add in those assessors, because when you pull up the worker list, you can select as many as you want to do it from there. Of course, that does pre-qualify them, but it is pretty easy to do from there. But yeah, if you're looking to bulk upload something else, like feel free to let us know. I'm happy to pass that on to the product team. No problem. Any other questions? Is everyone like super excited about the competency expiry? I think that's like a great new feature. Yes, thank you, Kayla. I'm glad you like it. I hope I'm saying your name right. Awesome. Well, if nobody has any other questions, then we'll say goodbye. But thank you so much for joining. I hope this is useful and you guys like took something from it. If you have any questions, feel free to contact our support team. You can always add us on LinkedIn too. Follow us there, and then don't forget to send me all of your vacation pictures, because I would love to dream about the beach while I'm in the office. Is there a way to have a note section behind the criterias? That's a great question, Jonathan. I guess you would would you be looking to just add some more details, or like how to kind of how to complete the assessment or what to look for? That's a really good question, actually. Hi, Carl. Thanks for joining. I do typically try to do these quarterly. There are quite a few on YouTube if you're looking for specific features. But if you have any questions, just contact us and we're happy to help you too. Awesome. So Mike is saying, yes, Jonathan, we will be adding that shortly with the description. So also great feature request. My pleasure. Nice to meet you, Carl. Thank you, Lisa. Enjoy your vacation. Thanks everyone for coming. So nice to chat with you guys, see some new faces. Yeah, have a great summer. Thank you. Well, have a good one, everyone. Bye.